thank you all very much for coming here today. My name is Susan Blonner, and I am the Director of Operations for Saving Lives Drug and Alcohol Coalition. We are a drug-free communities grantee funded by the White House to reduce alcohol and substance abuse amongst the youth. We all know that alcohol abuse is wreaking havoc on our children and our grandchildren. Youth using alcohol are more likely to do poorly in school, become victims of assault, commit crimes, be involved in serious accidents, and lose their lives. So make no mistake, our kids, our families, and our communities are suffering. With a focus on prevention, Saving Lives Drug and Alcohol Coalition works to bring about community awareness through education, media advocacy, increased enforcement, and changes in policies to protect our youth from the epidemic of alcohol abuse. We are here today to launch our underage drinking prevention campaign to reduce youth access and alcohol abuse, which will be explained momentarily. According to the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, alcohol used by persons under age 21 is the most commonly used and abused drug among the youth in the United States, more than tobacco and illicit drugs combined. In attendance this morning, we would like to recognize Staff Sergeant Robert Randall as a representative of the National Guard Counter-Drug Task Force, who is here in support of our coalition, Saving Lives Drug and Alcohol Coalition. We would also like to recognize the P3 Partnership for a Positive Pomona, who has come all the way here from Pomona here today to be with us. At this time, it is my pleasure to call upon our Captain John Egan, who oversees approximately 300 employees and all area patrol and detective operations for the West Valley LAPD. There are not enough words to express our gratitude and our thanks for all of Captain Egan's help and support of our efforts in working to reduce alcohol and substance abuse among the youth and to help us launch this campaign. Captain Egan has been called away on department business just this morning related to crime, but we are happy to introduce Lieutenant Don Graham, Commanding Officer of West Valley.
Good morning and welcome to the West Valley Community Police Station. It is my honor to represent Captain Egan and the Los Angeles Police Department at the unveiling of this critical campaign. The Captain and I feel that this partnership that we have built with the Saving Lives Drug and Alcohol Coalition over the last year will make a tremendous difference in many young lives, as well as spare the anguish of loss to parents throughout our communities. We are proud to stand with them today. The abuse of illegal drugs continues to plague our communities with the crimes and losses associated with it, and it strikes even deeper when the victims are children and teenagers. However, with all the attention that's paid on more nefarious illegal drugs like methamphetamine and cocaine, a more nefarious potential for harm exists right out in the open in our communities. And that, of course, is the potential abuse of alcohol by our youth. It's available everywhere in our communities. And unfortunately, the social pressures that are associated with the consumption of alcohol do not work in our favor. We have a lot of work to do together. It is a compulsion of our youth to fit in and to be cool. But what is the cost? In late October of this year, a 19-year-old driver in downtown Los Angeles, under the influence of alcohol, lost control of his vehicle and hit and killed 2 pedestrians. Just think of the cost that that bad judgment had on our city, on the families of the 2 that were killed, and of course, on the family of that 19-year-old whose life has now forever been changed. In West Valley alone, our police officers, our detectives, and our specialized enforcement units have arrested 44 juveniles for alcohol-related offenses. And that, my friends, is 44 too many. I personally, not only a police officer, but I'm also a father of a son and 2 daughters that I'm raising in this community. So I personally applaud the efforts of all of our community partners today. Thank you. Thank you for bringing light to this very, very important, critical issue. It is a responsibility of us all to control and prevent the abuse of alcohol and all illegal drugs by our youth. The Los Angeles Police Department spends a considerable time and resource in educating and reaching out to our youth through our cadet and our other youth programs. So naturally, we are committed to supporting today's efforts with all of the enforcement and outreach efforts at our command. Every young life is worth the effort. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Susan, for not only that introduction, but for what you're doing here with the coalition. It is so important, the mission and the role that you're playing and that all of us here are playing. And I want to echo the sentiments of Lieutenant Graham and all of you who are here today, and LAPD. We're all here for the same reason. We care about our youth, and we've got to put a stop to underage drinking. And one of the great things about this coalition is that we're looking at this problem in new ways. Not just the old way, like when I was a kid, where you had the commercial about, this is your brain on drugs or something like. Not just to just say no, but looking at an ecosystem, looking at the community and engaging the community, the adults in the community as well as the children in the community. And I think that is critical in order for us to turn around the very dangerous trend that has come upon us. A study by the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism showed in a recent 10-year study that alcohol overdoses by our youth had increased dramatically, 25%. That is unconscionable. I'm here today as a representative representing the West San Fernando Valley to let you know that I'm going to be here, and I stand in solidarity and partnership with you to help take this problem on. But I'm also here as a father, raising 2 kids in this area, and I want to make sure that that they're safe, and that their friends are safe, and that our community is safe. So we're all here for the same reason, and I thank you for being here. I'm excited about the great unveiling of the new campaign, and I'm excited that we're not only treating this problem as a community problem, but that we are coming together as a coalition that you're leading here, and together we can tackle this problem, and together we can make a difference. Thank you.
This is the warning sign that we're asking all our retailers to post in their businesses to come on board and be partners with the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control and Saving Lives Drug and Alcohol Coalition. It's going to be in 8 different languages. It represents a broad-based community that we do serve. And by working together, I think this will be a great campaign for all of us to see positive results in the future.
Say anything. I just want to recognize Susan because of her energy, her tenacity, and she doesn't stop. And I think when I first met her, she says, "Hey, Albert, thank you, for helping." You know what, Susan? Thank you. It's that energy and people like you that inspire a lot of us that have been doing this for a long time. But saving lives, let's not forget what we're trying to do here. We're trying to save lives. I mean, we've heard some of the statistics, but did you know that alcohol is a factor in the 4 leading causes of death for young people? Homicides, car accidents, suicides, and one that's called unintentional injuries, that a young person was so drunk that he did something that cost him his life. So let's not forget that alcohol is killing our young people, because oftentimes, excuse me, we're asked, why alcohol? Why not other drugs? Why alcohol? Alcohol is the #1 drug abused by young people, and it takes more young people than all drugs combined, so we need to recognize it and we need to acknowledge that. Did you know that for a young person to take drugs or drink alcohol, 3 things need to happen at the same time? Access. Well, first we have curiosity. Most of our young people are curious. We see it in the commercials. They see it on TV. Then access. You have to have access to whatever it is you're going to try. And 2, you have opportunity. A lot of our young people are unsupervised. So if we can address the access issue, then that means that less young people are going to use drugs or alcohol. The other question is, what do we do? What do I do as a community member? What do I do as a retailer, but also as a consumer? Is we play a role. So this warning is also a call to action for us to get involved and not just turn the other way. We need to do something. We've spoken with retailers, and retailers tell us this. As a retailer, I'm not trying to sell alcohol to young people. It is not good business for me to sell alcohol to a young person. And it's obvious by the support that Susan has received from the retailers that agree to put this sign on. ABC lets us know that a large percentage of their retailers don't sell to minors. But there's other avenues that young people take. Shoulder tap. We heard about shoulder tap, where a young person asks an adult to purchase alcohol for them. So I think for all of us as a community is that we're being called to action to save the lives of young people, not to purchase alcohol for them. So when we walk into a store and we're asked to buy alcohol, not to do it. But I think the other piece here is to get involved in our community. Saving Lives Coalition is a coalition and a group amongst other groups trying to make a difference in our community. They've brought together representatives from our community. So it's not only parents, it's not only law enforcement, it's schools, it's everybody. I think as a community, we all need to stand up for our young people. We need to make a difference. And Susan, I commend you for the work that you've done and for your energy and for this first step in really creating a safe and healthy community for all of our young people.
Would like everybody to know that we are doing our best to be out there educating the public, letting parents know, teaching them on what they have to learn to help make their homes safer. And we want to, at this time, thank everybody for being here today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. And we look forward to hearing from you. Our coalition website is savinglivescoalition.org. And if anyone has any questions at the end of this press conference, we're happy to answer them for you. Thank you again. Thank you very much.